First question I think that hasn't been answered is why does any taxpayer have to pay an additional assessment for a county road? Because it is a county road. Second, with the properties that we've got here, we start here is the Purse property here going down all the way. These are the properties that are affected. In orange is the Marina property. Currently, the petition was filed by the Purses and is currently supported by the Townsends, Baws, Gonzalez, and Burns. So they're from right here is who supports it. The people that oppose it are Brakeys, Nichols Bentley, Garris, Nichols, Herman, and Scheuer. Now, Purses and Reynolds are on paved road already. They do not have dirt road in front of it. And the dirt starts at the Townsend property. Well, if they're allowed to vote on it and bring everyone in, well, the Scheuers down here don't want to, they don't want the road, and they have as much standing as do the Purses, because they're on the road and they have just as much interest and are similarly situated as the Purses. Then take the standing issue away, and then you've got the percentages, and you need 50%. Well, down here, if you take these, it's 57%. But then we've got over here, with all of the orange property being the Marina, that has 50% of the frontage, because they're all on the south side of the road. They've been allowed to come in at 1/13 of the cost, which these people down here are paying the same cost, but they've got 550 feet, and the Hermans only have 10 feet. And some of these are 25 feet property. Now, where's the fairness in that? We're trying to get fairness and reasonable to do this. And so these numbers up here show, this is a Purse rental, they have 60 feet, Purses have 25 feet, Townsend's 39, Baugh 60, Gonzalez and Burns each with 37.5. Then we've got Brakey with 68, Bentley Nichols 60, Garris 60, Nichols 60, another Nichols 42, Herman 60, and Scheuer 60. So everyone up the hill, and up the hill is everyone from Burns, is opposed. Everyone down the hill wants it. So in order to be fair and give everyone what they want, you can change the petition, leave everyone up the hill off of it. If these people, let them have it, they can do it. If they want to do it, no one's going to stop them. But the people up the hill shouldn't have to pay for it. And I think that that is what our message is. We don't want a paved road. We saw the runoff. I think you've been provided a movie that I gave of last Friday's rainstorm, and how the water doesn't affect the residential owners on this side of the road. It only flowed over here on the south side of the road, didn't affect anyone on the north side, except for these two properties down here, the Nichols and the Nichols, and one of them got flooded.
You can't see that.
Oh, well, I'll show it to you.
Got 1 minute.
So with that, there's damage and detriment to the uphill owners if the road is paved. There's no benefit. The only benefit would be down here to the downhill. There's no reason to fix it. There's no necessity. The only thing that's happening down here is dust, and maybe the Purses have a runoff situation from the Marina to their property, but that's all from the parking lot. That's not from the road, and so that's not something the township should be working on. But
Thank you.
I guess the first thing, the question I have, Carolyn brought it up, going through, Don and Wilma Nichols Trust has approved and voted in favor of the petition, so they're up the hill. And we have the information,
No, the Nichols rescinded their vote,
When did you rescind your vote?
several weeks ago.
Before the first meeting?
Did you write it in writing?
Yes.
To who?
To Barry Marsh?
I've never seen it. The only one I've seen is the Herman.
It was in the first,
Before the Herman,
it was in the first objection that I filed and signed by.
Pardon? So she did at some point?
There's, part of the confusion is, well, not to have a Q&A back and forth, is that's from Don Nichols. That's not from her.
Don, there were
Don's
two Don Nichols.
Yeah, Don
One
passed
died
away.
and another one lives.
But the one, I believe the one that's with you is
Will
passed
Nichols
away.
refused, and she withdrew her support.
But this is
That's a
by,
different Don Nichols.
That's her brother, that one is.
that's not the same Nichols. The Nichols Trust had approved it, because I went to the house and had it approved. I've not seen anything that rescinds
It went to
that
Richard
request.
Lindsay, the first objection that we filed.
Pardon?
Your office got it. Got a
Well, we've
copy
never
of it.
seen, we haven't seen it, so, you know. In any event, I guess let's take a step back. Even if you have those two pull out, there are sufficient number in individuals. The purses are part of it at the bottom, because as the road commission pointed out, they've got to overlap the paving also anywhere from 3 to 9 feet or excess. So you've got them, they are affected by it, because all runs down, as our meter first testified, fills it up with dirt. The statute on this specifically references road frontage. So even if for some reason you didn't have the right number of people, you still have almost 70% of the road frontage. Because you have Huff's Marina, you have Hearst, 2 properties, you have Townsend, you have Baugh, you have Gonzalez, and you have Burns. So not only do you have a majority in individuals, even with them withdrawing, and even if they withdrew them tonight, the statute itself is set up, and the petition is set up based on road frontage, of which you have substantially in excess of 50%. So, you know, these people were in favor of it. Unfortunately, Carolyn Nichols, I'm not sure what.
You know, I'm gonna object to that, Kurt. Don't,
You. Bill, are
You were allowed to speak. Let Mr. Parker
She
speak.
contacted Herman's, I believe, and all of a sudden they withdrew theirs. I've not seen it from the Nichols Trust that had approved it. So perhaps you didn't contact Herman's, but I think you did.
and that's.
You can tell me if you did. But in any event, whether you got Herman's to withdraw it or not, the fact is you have a majority of property owners that want it in number. You have a supermajority of road frontage that wants it. And under the statute, it references the road frontage for those items. It's MCL 41.722 on the improvements, in 723, where it speaks of based on the total frontage, 50% of total frontage upon the road. And you have not only the marina, you have all of the property owners with the exception of the Nichols and the couple that they pointed out. So I think it's, you know, it would be our position, you have the number of people you need, you have the road frontage, and the petition's properly before you. You heard from the road commission talking about the runoff. You heard from the road commission, they're gonna pick up 30% of it, and that they're gonna do the paving project. So we would request that you move forward with it and approve it.
I'm one of the affected residents, and I just want to say, I think it's very unfair to suddenly charge us for putting pavement on the road without, it seems as though we've been to this meeting, we were at this meeting last month, and I thought you guys had already decided that you're going to pave it, even after our objections. I think it's unfair to charge us as much, or to to not charge the marina for their half of the road, or at least more than one residence area of the road. I think that they should pay at least a quarter or a fifth or something more than that, because they do own one side of the road. And it feels like you don't listen to us, because the last meeting, we gave you several objections, and it seemed like you didn't consider them. Maybe you did, but you sure didn't spend any time on it. You just said, well, we approve the paving. So I don't know why, are we having another meeting about approving the paving? Is that what it's all about? I think so. So I just wanted to say, I don't like it, and I don't think it's fair.
And my comment is, I'd like to know what the fairness is. How you can say 13 people and 50% are above. If you look at this diagram, and yes, you've got all of these, you've got 550 feet, which is consecutive to the 550 feet on the side of the road. And they get to pay the same amount as all of us. Plus, if you say this is supposedly 6, because purses count for 2, they're not even on the dirt. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people are in favor, and consecutively, all of these people, which is more than 5, you throw in the Huffs, and that completely changes the whole dynamic of the road. But I think Carolyn made a good point. If these guys want to have paved, they're all consecutive in a row, why don't you just pave the road down there? And let us keep our dirt up here. It's not hurting anybody. After yesterday's rain, there is a divot in the road where it's run down, and it didn't go across the road at all, but it's 9 inches. And how is that not going to underground and go under the road? Is one of my other concerns. But my biggest concern is, how is it fair when there are less people in favor, but because the person across the road owns 550 feet and they only have to pay 1/13?
Charlie, potholes, when we were going on Eagle Point.
Yeah, there are lots of potholes.
They're gonna have potholes.
Yeah, you guys can talk. I think that we are strongly, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us on the upper part of the hill. And I just don't understand how that can just be completely disregarded. Kind of like Myra Breaky. But that's just my thinking. I don't understand how it's equal, whether you have 60 feet of frontage or 30 feet of frontage or 550 feet of frontage. Those are huge disparities.
I own 2 properties on the unpaved part of Eagle Point. I own 1428, same as her, same as our brother Don, who's alive, and Joanne. We own that property because we're Haskell Nichols grandkids. That's why we have that property. Then last year, Jill Bentley and I bought 1410. So I've got 2 properties that are affected here. And I don't want this thing. And I asked this board a question last meeting. I said, who owns the road? And you all, 100% of you, said you, the township, owns the road. Yes, you did. We've got it on tape. Just watch the tape. You all said you own the road. And then I asked you a second question. The second question was, who maintains the road? And you all unanimously said, we do. You answered, but look.
They,
County.
Commissioners County.
Right.
County owns the road.
I just wanted to clarify that it's not what
But
he
you
is.
answered the questions in the affirmative, and now I don't have an answer for your answers. You haven't told me what you're gonna do. And I think you're about to do something immoral, inappropriate, and wrong. And thank you for the amendment.
It looks like the road is doing fine right now, now that they've graded it. My issue is the increased traffic And as soon as the restaurant is open, it's going to look like Lucero's parking lot. And they come over the hill from the east side on Eagle Point Road. And as soon as they're going fast, and they come over the hill where, just before my house, by Carolyn Nichols' house. And they're going 40 miles an hour. And they're doing the same thing up the hill. If we pave it, I mean, we could slow them down a little. I would be for the road if we could put in speed bumps along there. I think it would be great. But I just don't want, there's going to be a lot of traffic and a lot of, it's just dangerous. And it's also the Spirit Trail. And this is just not, the speed just isn't being controlled for a Spirit Trail with walkers and bikers, kids on bikes. It's becoming a highway. So, and I think that the cost is, probably should be renegotiated if you decide to do this, but it is a county road, so I would think the county would be keeping it up and paying for it. I don't know if everybody has to pay for the road in front of their house in other places, but county roads are usually maintained by county. Correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you, that's all I wanted to say, and thank you for listening to all of this.
So I can't remember if it was David or Kelly and I did an experiment going 25, because when we see the cars going 25, we automatically assume that they're speeding. So they're not, they're going 25 and that's really fast. And not only did my children grow up there, but there's a lot of kids now. My kids, of course, are grown. But we also have horses, and we like to ride the horses down. And last summer, me, Kelly, and I were riding down with the horses, and somebody even came on a bike, a tricycle. And our horses both reared up and took off. So I don't know what, but I think before you come to the conclusion and just all say that it's going to pass, maybe we could give equal time and listen to us people that live there. Because we bought a little cottage, and it's every cottage, and those were the people that owned the whole point. And they sold it to Pittman's when I was 2 years old. But we're all lifelong Clark Lakers, the ones that really care about the lake. I mean, we go out of our way to, and Mike too, we all go out of our way to make sure the seaweed is taken care of in the lake and do all that. And I really, really want you to consider this, because a lot of us don't have a lot of money to pay for it. You know, we're on incomes, and I just, you know, the sewer, everything is always going up. You know, I'd like to retire sometime, and I've worked at the hospital for 35 years, and I can't retire. You know, I'll be 64 in a couple weeks. But just please listen to us. My aunt's 93 years old, and my other aunt's, I'm not going to tell you her age. But we're all, this is heartfelt for us. It's very heartfelt. Clark Lake's been my home it was my first home in 1957. And I had strong feelings about it. So, thank you.
Those roads were sold to the county when we came out of the Depression, and they are lock, stock, and barrel the responsibility of the county.
Just to speak to what the supervisor covered is, we didn't build it, we didn't calculate it, we didn't divide it, we simply received it. For tonight, the purpose of the hearing is to see if the Board of Trustees want, by a majority vote, to accept the special assessment district and basically administer it by paying the bills and collecting the money and then paying that off until the assessment's done.